Hi, and welcome to Love Games. I'm your host, Anthony.
And I'm Francis.
And today we're giving you an update.
It's 2023.
Yes, so hope you all had a wonderful holiday season.
Yeah.
And a great New Year's. We are now in 2023 and looking forward. But before we do that, we want to reflect back.
It's always good to look back.
Mm-hmm. How else are you going to grow both personally and professionally without looking back at your accomplishments, your failures, and what you could have done better?
I feel like this is like our performance review.
Yeah, we're doing this is called a self-assessment, right? We're going to assess
360.
Assess our performance. How well did we do? Did we achieve all of our things? Did we achieve excellence, or did we just meet expectations?
Well, I always achieve excellence.
Well, we're not talking about our real jobs. This is our fun job.
Yes.
I wouldn't even call it a job. This is our hobby.
Yeah.
Right? And we always try to keep that in perspective, right?
Yeah.
This is a hobby for us, and it's not employment. This is not our way of life.
Yes.
It's not a means to pay our mortgage every month.
Although it does help supplement daycare.
It does help with those things, depending on the work we do. So yes, indeed, we do get paid for work, and we're going to talk about that so you understand how that all works with us.
Yeah.
As we go through sort of our recap.
Sure.
Of 2022.
Yeah. So where do you want to start with 2022? Do you want to start talking about games that we played, or do you want to start with personal stuff, or how do you want to do this?
What's first on our agenda? We have sort of a loose agenda, right?
Personal recap is first on our agenda.
We'll just ramble on here so people can just kind of tag along and
I think actually as we go through our year, maybe we can kind of talk about some personal stuff that happened along the way and some changes, because I think even if you look back at our channel, you started in January of 2022. You'll see that the channel has evolved a lot.
Yeah, and we're going to take you on...
It's like regressed back brand-wise, right? But has increased, I think, in, style.
Yeah, I think what we've taken is our original style and refined it, improved it, and made it repeatable.
Yeah.
And I think that's really sort of the engine we wanted to build here, because we love engine building.
It was an engine building year.
Yeah,
for sure.
So this is an engine builder. So we tend to attack problems or just items as if they were board games. And we're building an engine, and you want it to be repeatable. And then we've just completed the round, right? The 2022 round.
Yes.
And we're looking back to see our scores. How did we score, right? So we took our brand. So we could talk about that. So we could talk about the brand, right? So you were all party to those updates and what we kind of talked about, and we went through just sort of our history and the road it took to get here, and what we've had to deal with, what we've gone through, and all that other stuff, right? And it's like we got to a point where we explained this in our other update.
Yeah,
so I don't want to rehash all this stuff, but at the end of the day, what we did was we found that most of our followers who were with us for a long time liked our style and liked our brand and liked all the things that we did. And then we went ahead and changed all that, flipped it on its head, tried to do 100 different things new, to try to
reignite the
almost
passion.
like rediscover ourselves, right? To rediscover a new brand, to kind of like hit reset and try to start new, which was, as we look back now, a terrible mistake. It just was, right? It was like the new Coke. Like, you should have never even messed with the old Coke. Yeah. Like, it was just a flop, right? It just didn't work. I mean, maybe if we leaned into it really hard, we could have made it work, but it wasn't us.
It wasn't us. That was the thing.
Yeah, we were trying to we just threw a bunch of stuff at the wall to see what stuck, and what really stuck at the end of the day, it wasn't like people didn't enjoy the new content. It's just that we didn't enjoy doing it. It was too much work. It was like,
it wasn't us. So like when we started, like we kind of went back to like our old brand, our old logo, like our own. We even started doing our thumbnails the way we used to, like similar to how we used to do them, and it just felt good. Like it was like, I feel like I'm finally back in my, in my clothes that I love. And they fit nice. And it's like, I don't care if whatever anybody thinks about it or whatever.
And what that did was it brought a lot of our followers who left back.
Right, because they're like, I didn't even know you guys were still making
it. You're still doing it, because they lost track of our brand, they lost track of who we were, they didn't think we were making videos anymore, but the flock is finding its way back.
Yes,
and it's really nice to see that, right? And I think we've gotten some good momentum going into the end of the year. Like our videos are starting to, the view counts are going up to where where they used to be.
Yeah.
We still have a little ways to go, but we're getting there, right? And I think that has to do with just the content's coming out. It's at a regular basis. The brand is there. People are finding the channel again. Subscribers are coming back. We've had a pretty good spike in growth, I think, over the last quarter.
Yes.
So quarter to date performance has been up really good, even in a down market, in the high inflation market. I think we're showing good returns.
Yeah, that's good.
So what we're doing seems to be working, right? From a perspective of the channel.
Yeah.
We're a handful.
We are as of the filming of this video, I think I just checked, we're nine shy.
So we're less than 10 subscribers, which will happen probably today. Away from 25,000. So
which is cool.
Yeah, we've been kind of chasing this number, which is kind of ridiculous that it took forever to get here.
Well, it's funny because I don't know, talking to some of our content creator friends and all this kind of stuff, a lot of people sort of obsess over their sub counts and stuff, and we really never have. It's kind of a nice little oh, that's neat. We're about to crest this milestone. Right. So, but this one's a pretty big one, I think, and I'm celebrating it. I think it's awesome.
It's a milestone for us.
It's a really cool thing that I think we, when we had a lot of personal stuff going on in the last couple of years that probably we could have reached this milestone quicker, but we did a lot of stuff that we've talked about for a long time. So
we embraced life. We embraced other things.
Right.
We took a break from the hobby for a little while, and all of that contributed to this sort of stagnancy in growth for the channel.
Well, and what happens is if you don't know how YouTube works, basically, we have a lot of subscribers that are I didn't even see this Lacrimosa video you put out, because YouTube is going to put out certain videos in front of you, be based on their popularity and based on how well the channel's been performing in the last couple of days.
Yeah, and if you haven't been watching us,
know this algorithm. I don't study it. I don't. We could, but frankly, I just don't have time. That's not what we're not out to get more subs. But that's why it's cool when organically we just kind of wow, this is a place where we're at in our channel maturity, and I feel pretty cool.
Yeah.
YouTube doesn't give out little trophies for 25,000 subs, but
who cares? We're not in it for trophies. This isn't a participation game, right? It's just a matter of we're just doing it because we enjoy it.
It's pretty cool.
And the growth is good because it means that
people are watching.
People are finding us. Yeah. People are watching us. People like what we're doing. And it's nice to see that, right? It's kind of our reward for putting all this work and effort and all the time in. So what do you get back? You get new followers. And I think, coming into the 25,000 mark, that's kind of the first threshold, and we're just going to keep pushing to try to get up to 25, 30, 35, 40, and then see where it goes. Doesn't, at the end of the day, it still doesn't really matter, but it's nice. It's a nice to have.
It feels good. I'm not going to lie. It's like eating a piece of chocolate cake.
Yeah, it feels good.
It feels good.
So we're not gonna lie, it does feel good, and it's nice. And again, it's just it helps us sort of cash in on all the work we've done.
Yeah, because it's kind of wow, cool. This is the thing.
Neat. So that's kind of what we kind of did over this last year. I'd say the last 6 months, right? We can go back when we rebrand. Yeah. We'll figure out that date exactly, but it was a really good choice, and I think leaning into it. This one, yeah. So leaning into the brand, right?
Yes,
so we're
I didn't wear mine
putting out the merch. We're putting out the name.
Yes.
We're not bashful about putting it out there, right? We're wholeheartedly going into this strong. We've got a presence on all the socials again.
For the most part, I don't think we have a Facebook actually.
We don't. Well, we live in the Nexus Facebook, but honestly, we don't really use Facebook that much. We created this Facebook group. It's got its members. There's not a lot of chatter goes on there because all of the chatter happens in our Discord.
Yeah, Discord's actually been a surprise for me this year.
It's so much better.
If you want to talk about embracing new things, this was something that I embraced in 2022 was Discord, and I was always afraid of it because I didn't really understand how it worked, and it's very overwhelming for me because there's 1,000 different channels, and I'm subscribed or however, followed or whatever. I have a bunch of different channels on my Discord thing.
Right.
And I miss a lot of messages, whatever. But it is cool to pop in and see the chatter. And it's neat because we have the Board Game Nexus Discord group or the server or whatever where everybody is. And it's I'll pop in there and I'm oh wow, look at all these things go all this
a lot of conversations
going on, and you don't have to really manage it. And I guess I always feel I have to host things, so I forget that people can kind of do their own thing. You set it up, and then people can kind of do their thing.
They
and
do
you
their
pop
thing.
on every now and then and like talk about stuff.
It doesn't
and
need moderation either.
exactly. It's really, really cool. It's been awesome.
Honestly,
So
there's
really
no off-topic discussions. Like everything is about games. Like that's
Right.
all people talk about. What's new? What's out? What's coming out?
And we have like a good number of people on there too.
We have a couple hundred people now.
Yeah,
so
which
and
is
it's
like-
and it continues to grow because
Right.
more and more people are finding their way in, and they're all contributing to the discussion. It's great.
Right. Yeah, it's pretty neat. And I think there's a lot of like cross Discord happening now.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like you'll see similar people from like other Discord channels show up in your Discord and
Yep.
they're talking and they're like, "Oh, I didn't know you were here."
Yeah.
So it's
tell you,
it's pretty cool.
As long as we've had it up, we haven't had to moderate a single person.
No, yeah,
Not
it's
one.
been well, I think I got myself moderated.
Well,
one
yeah,
time.
our bot moderates you
My bot.
because of your language, but that's just you. But so it's named the Nexus, but we are in there as Ant
Yep,
Lab Games.
exactly.
It's just sort of just like the website is its own entity
Yep.
that we're just members of. Same with the Discord channel, we're just members of
Yep.
it, and we actively talk with people.
We
in
have
there.
a separate Discord, Ant Lab Games Patreon Discord for our
Within
patrons
the Nexus.
within that Nexus.
Yeah, it's a private
so-
channel for us to
yeah.
kind of like pass messages on to our patrons and communicate live with them, and
Yeah.
and it's an easy way to get it in contact with one of us.
Yes,
you know, if people
yeah.
direct message me on Discord. It's real. It's on my
Yeah,
phone.
message him because again,
Don't message her because
don't
it'll go
message me.
into the ether.
Because I'll be like, I get the notification that a message came in, and I'm like,
she's
and then I go to
lost.
panic mode because I'm like, Anthony, I got a message. I don't know how to get it back.
Yeah, and then
Where
it's
did it
gone.
go?
So don't
And
message
so,
her.
yeah, don't message me on Discord. Just email me.
Yeah, it's the easiest way to do
Yeah.
it. So, all right. So that's sort of like where we are today, right?
Yes.
Those are all the different things we're into. Let's touch on the Nexus now. I
Oh,
think.
okay, cool. Yeah, we'll jump to that.
Right.
So a couple of things going on. So let's talk. We kind of already did a bunch of updates on what we did last year.
Yeah.
So actually, a big update was we actually launched the thing. So we
Even
were
though
going,
it still says beta in the.
well,
in the
no.
thing.
I'm talking about like we
launched
launched
the whole thing.
website.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
I was looking through our 2022 just for personally for what we did
Mm-hmm.
in my own life, and I'm like, did we launch the website this year? Because
Yeah.
it feels like it's been a lot longer than that, just because we've been working on it for such a long time.
Mm-hmm.
But the website actually launched this year, in like April, like
Yeah,
right
it
before the baby was born.
that's
so
right. It was a spring.
so there was that. That was a huge accomplishment
Yeah, it's a
for
huge
us.
undertaking,
Really, really proud that we got it launched. We took the last 6 months or so to kind of
Mm-hmm.
work out tweaks. I mean, the bugs and like tweaks and stuff, there weren't too many of them. I think we were pretty much done in about a month working out bugs and stuff.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then we stayed in beta for a while just to make sure that everything wasn't broken.
Yeah. We
and-
had some hills we had to
Yeah,
climb to get through things.
Yes.
We had some problems early on, but we fixed
Right.
it. We had our programmers fix it, so
Yeah.
we got through it.
And so all of that was is pretty much squared away. So now looking forward
Mm-hmm.
to this year, what we've got coming down the pike, I think the biggest things are going to be the buy sell trade or not trade, sorry, buy and sell platform at this point.
Yeah.
Which has been working great. We get notifications every time somebody sells something
Yeah.
as well, like as admins.
Mm-hmm.
So it's awesome to see like activity actually happening there
Yeah,
and
yeah.
like messaging is happening. You can direct message. So I'll be doing some videos as I've been promising you. I'll be doing some videos on how to upload your games to sell and everything. 'Cause there's a whole
It's a whole way to
way
do
to
it.
do that.
But it's working, and
Yeah.
that was the big thing, was testing it out to make sure it's working. So you have a facility to sell and buy used games, which is big.
Yeah.
And you work it out between the buyer and the seller. We facilitate the payment and the order,
Yep.
and that's it.
And
Like,
all the you have a bunch of shipping options.
yeah,
all that
and
kind
it
of
all
stuff,
flows
so.
through the system, and,
Yep.
and it all does its thing. So that's up and running and live. The game
Content.
collection's live.
Yeah.
We have and from a content perspective, that's where we've kind of been sort of stagnant. Like there's some content that goes up,
And it wasn't because it wasn't our priority from
Right,
the beginning
it
of the
wasn't.
website. So we've been prioritizing.
yeah. So it's not. Yeah, we didn't put a lot of content up, and
Mm-hmm.
that's clear. But it's coming. Like this year, we want to make a conscious effort to add more content to it, so that it has articles, reviews, written work. We have
Yes.
somebody.
Yes, which I don't know if she wants to be.
Yeah, we won't name her
Maybe
yet.
yet,
So,
not
but we have somebody who's interested in writing for the Nexus, writing reviews, and that's going to be huge because it'll be a constant flow of that. We encourage you out there, if you're interested in submitted written works, if you already do written works and you want to just get further exposure, let us know. We're open to it. We'll get your work on the website. Like, it's that simple.
Exactly. As far as getting games and things uploaded, so this is something that initially we were hoping we would be able to do like weekly. Practically, that's not something that we can really do. Just because we don't have time.
It takes a lot of work.
It does. It takes a lot of work to get everything set up. Now, what we'll do is, like, if you have games that you want to submit or things that are missing, which I don't think we have too much that's actually missing now in arrears, right? But as things come out, we want to, ideally, we want to have it up before you know about it. So when you go there, you can find it. But that requires some participation, I think, from like publishers as well.
Yeah.
So we've been starting to have those conversations with some of the publishers that we know about, hey, here's how to get like your Q4 games loaded in. Because we can do that very easily with like just an Excel spreadsheet. I can get everything uploaded, from a publisher that they send, or really anybody else. It just has to be in the right format.
We need the data. So here's the problem. We're just not getting the data.
Right, exactly.
So for me to
we're
go out
to
and
everything.
fish for what new games are coming out because the publishers aren't sending us anything is a problem. I can't keep up, right? It's just too much work. So on my own, it would be my full-time job, and I have a full-time job. So we're doing the best we can to keeping it up to date. People submit forms. They let us know, oh, hey, this game's missing. Add it, and they give me all the information, and I can do that. That's easy. It takes time, but it's the easier way to do it. If publishers could send us a spreadsheet with all the information in columns, we can work with that.
Yeah,
we can create templates and upload those systemically, and it just happens. So that's where we would like to get to. So if you are a publisher who wants your game, go do the forms. Know that it'll take a little time for me to get through it, and because I have to manually code all that.
Well, I would say if you're a publisher and you have like more than a couple of games that you want to upload,
us your list.
Just email me and I'll walk you through it. And it's very easy to just send everything, and you don't have to fill out the form 900 times.
Yeah, just one big spreadsheet.
Just one big spreadsheet.
Just make it be your inventory spreadsheet,
Exactly.
and we can do that.
Yeah.
So it's contact@theboardgamenexus.com.
Perfect.
All written out.
Yes.
Contact@theboardgamenexus.com. Send that to us, and we'll get that loaded.
Yep.
So that's the thing. We're trying to get the games uploaded and updated. We want to get your stores working. We're going to get new content on the website, and let it run as it is.
Yeah,
we'll think about later this year into next year what new functionality we want to add. I don't know how what we're going to do, because everybody who supported us in the beginning, their annual membership is coming up, right? Early first quarter.
Yeah.
So we have to decide what we want to do. Are we going to continue the same pricing model going into next year, or are we going to change that?
Right, yeah, for
That's
the
a
premium
discussion
accounts.
we've got to figure out. Do we want to increase the free access to the site so that we get more people without having to pay, get more capabilities, more tools? Definitely not like the sales thing. We definitely want to keep locked down behind a paywall, because being able to sell games, you have to be a verified person. We don't want scams going on, because anytime you're exchanging money and product, we want to be very sure that you're at least as checked out as we can make. As we can get.
So we'll have those conversations and we'll see.
Yeah, we have got to figure. So there's things to figure out still, but it is what it is, and I think we've gotten to we've published something that we were happy with. I know a lot of people were looking for a replacement for BGG. It was never meant to be that.
Yeah.
And it's definitely not. That's not the goal, and that's not something we could feasibly do.
Right, with just the two of us.
With just the two of us, it's a huge effort to replace that. And then here's the thing: if BGG is ever to be replaced, it has to be an industry-wide project, because everybody in the industry I'm talking about gamers are the major contributors to that website.
Right,
so
exactly.
if the whole community decided they wanted to go somewhere else, that's the only way you would ever replace a website like that.
Right, exactly.
Because it's community driven.
Yeah.
It's not, they don't own it. I mean, they own it, but they don't own the data going into it.
Right.
Unless they consume ownership after you enter it, but they're not sourcing it.
Right.
You're providing it.
Yeah.
So, like, that's why we were never in that space, because we'd have to convince the community to start entering stuff into our platform. And it's like, what would be the benefit of that for them, for you, right?
So our goal continues to be to be a tool, an organization tool.
Yeah.
Eventually, hopefully this year, a little bit more content, news, things like that. And it's exciting. I'm really proud of what we've built.
Yeah.
And I'm excited about where we're going.
Yeah, I want to see it continue to grow, continue to thrive, and continue to be a useful utility in the hobby. Just another tool.
Yeah.
Not to take the place of a bunch of other tools.
Exactly.
Right? That's all.
Cool.
All right, so that is it for the Nexus.
Yes.
What else?
What do you want to get to next? Do you want to talk about...
What's on our agenda?
Well, we have going through our last year, and then we have what we have upcoming.
Okay, so let's do a reflection on our last year. We'll pivot to that. So what we're going to show you here is our website, right?
Yes.
So what you've got is... Make sure that you're all seeing what we're
they're
seeing.
seeing
Okay,
it.
so they're seeing it.
Yeah.
So what we did was we looked back, and the first video we did of 2022. So we're just starting at the back. We're going to roll our way up. We're going to just talk through some of the games, because we want to talk about games that we played. At least we did videos for games that we really enjoyed, some things that really didn't stand out. Now, mind you, we're not going to talk about all the Kickstarter stuff. We'll talk about it. We'll touch on a few that we thought were exciting, but we're not going to go too much into those. We did a good amount of Kickstarter work.
Yeah.
Keep in mind that our Kickstarter work is paid work.
A lot of it. Not all of it.
Not all of it, but most of it's paid, right? And it's really what generates the revenue stream for this channel, which is what helps us support all the things we do.
Yeah.
Because and it helps support the Nexus too, because that website's not free. It costs money to keep the web servers running, to keep the storage, to all that stuff. That all that licensing costs money, and it's recurring cost.
Yeah, monthly.
And like just using some of the new applications and software we do for streaming, all these things cost money, right, on a monthly basis. So it helps keep the channel going without us having to bankroll it ourselves.
Yeah, which we've been doing.
For years. Yeah, and I'm not doing it anymore. It's gotten too expensive. So here we go. So the first video we did in 2022 was Dom Pierre.
Right. Well, can I mention the funny full circle thing about this?
Sure.
Okay, so we recently, as you know from watching our other videos, we are doing giveaways now for our patrons on Patreon, and we recently got contacted by R&R. We just did East India Companies. For them. We bought that game at PAX, and R&R reached out afterwards, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, thank you for the coverage. Here's a copy of Dom Pierre, and here's a copy of East India Companies. You guys can give these away or do whatever you want with them."
Sure.
Which was pretty cool. So we have a copy of Dom Pierre to give away.
We do.
In 2023 to our patrons. So that's going to get added to the list of
other
great games.
Yeah, we have a good.
We just gave away a copy of Itoku. I think we have a copy of Beer and Bread to give away. We've got
Dom
Flourish
Pierre.
to give away.
We have a copy of East India Companies as well to give away.
Right.
Flourish to give away. We have there's a whole
couple of others,
stack of them on the side here that we have to give away, and there'll be more.
Yeah.
There'll be more to come.
So that was pretty funny though, because then when I looked back, I was like, "Oh, this was such a good game."
Yeah.
And then it was like, "Oh yeah, that was our first game of
covered
2020.
it. Wonderful game. So yeah, that was great. It's great to see that out in the wild. I love when these games that we covered so long ago go out in the wild.
Right,
so let's just going through our history, right? So looking at games that stood out. So Savannah Park was fun. Definitely a good tile placement game.
Yeah.
Trekking Through History. This was a Kickstarter.
One.
Yeah, but we have the full version now. So
right,
really enjoyed that one, Trekking Through History.
Yeah.
A lot of fun.
It was a good one if you're into, I mean, obviously like historical games, but this was more of like, it's like on the kids level kind of. So definitely you could bring it into a classroom. You could play it with your family. They also did later on in the year, I think we did Her Story, which is a no, that was released to retail, I think. Same company, but yeah, really, really good title.
Yeah. So that's really good. So yeah, Trekking Through History was good. Then you've got Corrosion. which we were kind of okay with.
I was a little disappointed in it. It didn't meet my expectations only because of the way it was just
The
like
gears,
I felt
yeah.
like I was literally in a machine.
Yeah.
I was just like, okay,
And you had to
do the
replace
thing
them
again.
because they were. I mean, they had
but
cool
the,
mechanics.
The mechanic was cool.
Yeah.
It just went on for I think too long.
I think so.
Or something, and I feel like I wanted to keep building an engine,
Mm-hmm.
and it wasn't about keeping your engine the entire game.
Right.
It was like build an engine for now, exploit it,
Run
and then
it,
move on.
and then you're gonna lose it.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Then you gotta go on.
So it just wasn't what I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
And not that it was a bad game. It was a good
No.
game, but yeah.
Twin Palms was a light card game, right?
That was a trick-taking game.
Yeah, trick taking. That was fun. We're getting into trick taking
We are
more.
actually.
So,
Yes.
so it was.
But
That
what did
was.
we just play recently the other night with my parents?
Oh, that was that.
Septima.
Yeah.
Something. Not Septima. Something Septet.
Septet.
Yokai Septet.
Yeah, Yokai
Yeah.
Septet. That was
Yes.
an interesting trick taking. I liked that one
Yeah,
actually.
I did too. We smoked on that
Yeah,
one.
that was pretty good. So Terraforming Mars Ares Expedition. Now there was a lot of I think there's a lot of tears on that one because it went to retail before Kickstarter backers got it.
Oh,
It
was that
another
right?
One, another one of that old
yeah.
gag.
That old gag.
But
well.
in any case, this one has become one of our preferred go-tos for Mars.
Yep.
So if we're instead of playing the full Terraforming Mars, we actually would prefer Ares Expedition
Yep.
because I think it plays a little bit faster.
I think so too. It definitely plays faster.
Yeah, so
Definitely.
it's more our speed
Right.
for that game. Pretty good. So I like that one.
Plus, it's like condensed,
Yeah.
so I feel like it's easier to teach and just get to the table.
Paris was fun.
Oh yeah,
A lot of fun. Yeah. So we really liked this. So it was almost like a small box game, but a big game.
You play in the box. It's one of those types of situations.
It was pretty good.
It was interesting because I think it as far as expectations go, it exceeded my expectations because I thought it was just going to be like another tile placement game, but your scoring really depended on like where other people placed stuff, and you could only place things on certain colors. Like it was really kind of cool.
Yeah, it was a cool game. Founders of Teotihuacan was okay. I didn't love it, but it was okay. We weren't huge fans of Teotihuacan to begin with, but Founders was all right. I think I liked it a little bit better.
What else do we have?
Let's see. The Board Game
that's
Nexus
just our-
launch and Origins.
Yeah.
So our gaming table we covered, so that we had our gaming table season 2, which our gaming table's still going strong.
Yes.
Nightmare Cathedral was a really cool Kickstarter way back.
I thought that was last year.
Yeah.
Like that was 2022.
It was 9 months ago.
Oh.
Yeah.
Because I saw it I think at PAX.
Yeah, so I think that's out,
It's
which
cool.
is cool.
Again, like seeing the games that you cover and prototype come
Yeah,
to
and
the
speaking
real
of
life.
which, The Flood was another
Oh,
one
yeah.
that was really, really excited to see that one.
Yeah.
I'd love to see when that thing comes out. Cool theme, really pretty art.
Yeah.
It was fun, so I think that'll be a pretty cool game to see published.
Yeah.
I started doing these crowdfunding rundowns. Which,
Yeah. Let's see. How long did that last?
I lasted
1, 2,
like
3,
3,
like
4, 5 episodes maybe.
These
I just was
crowdfunding
like,
things are just like you get like really. You're like, I'm gonna do it, and I would make a list every week.
you know what?
And you're just going through some of these games, and like, I'm sorry, but like a lot of these games are just like, phew.
I've just learned
Woof.
that I'm not into Kickstarter.
Well, yeah.
I'm just not.
no.
Like, I'm more of a retail junkie. I want my game, and I want it now.
Yeah.
I understand the whole backing bit and what publishers do it. I'm not against it. For me, I don't like waiting.
Well, my thing, I think, for me anyway, I like the whole back it because I believe in it sort of thing. Like, if I want to, I look at it more from an investment perspective where I'm like, I want to see this thing succeed,
Right.
so I'm going to invest in it. But so many Kickstarters now are like, you know that they're going to fund.
Yeah.
And it's really set up more as a pre-order. And that's
It
how
is.
that's how people treat it too, because people get all upset. They're like, I didn't get my game, and like I didn't get this, or I didn't get that, or like you want like special treatment or something because you invested in this project.
Right.
And it's like, but you're not looking at it like an investment. You're looking at it like
Like a pre-order.
a pre-order.
Yeah, there's a
So
risk. There's a huge risk.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, they could walk away and be like, "Pfft, not happening."
Right, yeah.
And we've
so
seen that happen,
I
so.
think that, that's like a whole topic for probably, and it's a huge pet peeve.
That's a
of
whole
mine.
topic for our panel.
It is we should talk about that on our panel. But yeah, anyway, you were doing these for a little while, and then it was like a lot of work.
I was like,
so,
this is more work than I care for.
yeah.
So,
I think it's like everybody has Kickstarter content.
yeah, and then we did our Nexus launch, which was cool.
Yeah, yeah.
And then we brought Mike in, and he started doing, Board Games for One.
Yeah.
He started doing his solo thing, hitting almost 6,000 views.
Yeah, right.
5 solo board games to start your collection, right?
Yes.
So he jumped in there to start doing our solo content, which is great.
Yep.
Trailblazer, the John Mears Trail board game. So that was really good. Really like that one. Maglev.
Yeah, Maglev I really enjoyed because it's like, if you haven't seen it, it's like a you have like these transparent tiles that have the stripes on them that show the routes. So you're actually building them like on top, and it ends up looking like a metro map or like a subway
pretty cool
map, which is really neat.
Yeah, the game was a lot of fun.
So that was cool.
And if you're wondering why I'm not putting up images of these games and all that stuff, it's because I literally am showing you where to go watch this stuff.
Yeah, we already did that.
So if you want to just pause the video and go watch.
Yeah, this is pretty good because I think we have a lot of folks that actually subscribe, follow us, all that. Are like, I didn't even know that you played this game or that game.
Because
so
it didn't.
Here you go. This is everything we did.
If you're a subscriber and you don't go into your subscriber tab on YouTube, you won't see our new videos always pop up. Yeah,
so you want to make sure, and this is probably a good call to action for you, that you subscribed? Have you hit the bell? Right? And then I think there's one other way that you can get notified. Make sure that your notifications are on YouTube to get notifications for the channels you're subscribed to, basically. So
if you want to know what comes out, you have to put those on. So Maglev is good. Bitoku, really good. Like we said, we just gave a copy of this away to a patron. And it was good. So here we go. The board game. More Nexus stuff. Ark Nova. So look, Ark Nova is a game where I think the majority of people who play it really enjoy it.
Yeah.
I think there's a smaller handful of people who hate it.
Yeah.
Hate it in the sense that it can be a very long game.
Well, and you get negative points.
You do. So you do a lot of work to only end up being negative because you didn't manage the both tracks.
Yeah.
I think you need to go into it knowing how this thing scores and how the game ends.
Yeah, and we played this a few times, obviously, before we filmed it, and I still feel like I need to play it more times to really grasp the strategy, because I always go into this game playing as though it is a tableau builder. Like I'm trying to go in and collect sets and make
the best zoo ever?
The best zoo ever, but it's not a zoo. It is a conservatory. So the idea is get your animals in, get them out, do projects. You know what I mean?
Get them back to the wild.
It's you have to manage what you're thinking about here, but that was a really good one that I definitely want to get back on the table in 2023.
Yes, so that was really, really good. Really enjoyed
Dr.
that
Brian.
one. Yep, Dr. Brian started doing some game reviews for us. Steph C.
Yeah.
Doing some content for us. Celebrate for Spring. That's a good video. Origins. So we had Origins. Didn't love this one. This one is kind of middle of the road for me.
I don't even remember this.
This is the one with those dials, the plastic dials, and we had all dice.
Oh, right. Remember. Oh, yes. Yeah.
She pretends like she doesn't know, but she knows. Look, you remember that now?
I've got a lot of stuff in my brain.
Yeah.
I do, and the dials were cool. I mean, it was neat. But I think I didn't feel connected to the theme at all in this game.
Correct.
Didn't spaceships came down and they were helping you rebuild pyramids or something like that?
Technically, it was ancient
civilizations.
Right? We just saw a whole video on this on Netflix about how this stuff actually happened 10,000 years before really we thought it did.
Yeah, I think. I don't know.
Yeah, so this one was kind of all right for us. Yeah, we didn't love it. It seemed like there was a lot of hype on it.
Yeah.
But to us, it just really didn't do it. I have very high standards for civilization builders, and this one wasn't quite there.
Well, and I think we've been wanting a civ builder.
Yeah.
Like a good one. And that being said, too, I feel like I don't know, if I were to ever have my own review channel, we didn't have the Ant Lab games, and I had my own board game review channel, it would just be the most. I don't think anybody would watch it because I literally, people are like, oh, here's my top 50 list, and I'm like, I do not have top 50. I don't have 50 games that I love. I don't. I have maybe 10. Yeah. For different purposes. Yep. Maybe 10, and then everything else is just kind of meh.
Yeah, I agree.
And then there's like a bunch of crap.
Yeah, we have very, I don't know if we're like board
I'm
game
like a board
snobs.
game elitist.
Yeah, we're elitists. I guess you could say that. But our threshold for what we consider to be really, really good games is very high.
It's like I love this game.
Yeah.
I'll play it. Like there's a bunch of games I'll be like,
love the
I'll
game
play
is a small bit.
and then it's like
Play it's a huge chunk.
Nope.
And then it's kind of like the bell,
thanks.
right?
It's a bell curve.
The bell curve. You got the ones
So
that
I
we
guess
just
it's not that abnormal.
games we just won't play. Games we'll play.
Yeah,
and games we love.
Instead of I think like my first and second standard deviations are combined.
Yeah.
So it's just like
it's kind of like when you do so it's like anything you rate, right? Like you've got this whole middle of the pack which is just average, right? And then you've got the two bookends which are just the good and the bad.
Right.
And
maybe that's how we should do our reviews. It should just be 1, 3, and 5. Or 1, 2, or 3.
It should be just one. It should just be.
That's it. 3 star. 3 ratings. That's
3
it.
ratings.
That's it.
Top, middle, bottom.
Yeah.
So it goes into one of those 3: green, yellow, and red.
Yep.
Right. If it's green, it's in our top tier. It's elite. If it's yellow, it's just like everything else. It's okay.
We should do
it could be, and the yellow range is wide.
It is very wide.
Right?
Doesn't mean it's a really good game, bad game, but I'm saying it's just meh. Like it's just.
That's it. It's like when you get employee reviews at work, right? You've got someone who exceeds expectations.
Can you tell we all just had our reviews?
You've got people in the middle who are just meeting those expectations, but that's a wide range of meets.
That's what you want. Like that's your goal, right?
Yeah,
that's your goal
do.
Is to meet.
Well, it shouldn't be your goal. Your goal should be to
never
exceed.
My goal, but
but if you're in that meets, the Met, they call it the Mets category, right? Yeah. So you're in the Mets. You could be pushing up against exceeds, right? But you're not quite there yet, but you're really close. Or you could be like ready to drop into the did not meet, right?
Cut.
And like really low at the bottom. So you don't want to be in that bottom tier because those are like, and if you put it in the context of board games, those bottom tier games are the ones that are probably on their way out of your collection.
Yeah, they're the ones sitting over there in that pile.
And that's where you should be your call, right? Okay, if it falls out of the yellow, it's got to go. There's no room for it on my shelf. I'm not playing it anymore. So that's the mentality we're going to go into this year for sure. And I think that may be our rating system.
I like that.
All right, so
cool.
that was Origins.
Things are happening on this call.
Origins Origins falls in the lower yellow. I'll say that.
Yeah.
And we'll use that for the remainder of this video, actually.
Cool. Okay,
Titanic. For me, is upper yellow.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. So really good play on solitaire.
If you like solitaire, like it's solitaire.
Solid.
You're gonna lose a lot.
It's solid.
Really
Bark Ave. That was
yes.
designed by some of our friends.
Yes, and this was their Kickstarter.
And it was great first game out of the chute, let me tell you.
Amazing.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, and again, it's a preview. We're not going to rate anything that hasn't gone to retail yet. So, Moonrakers is...
This is in the top of my...
This is prestige.
Green for me.
This
green,
is top
green,
tier. Green like money. Like this is... This is one of our all-time favorite games.
And what I loved about... Because we did a series of Kickstarter previews for them with all these new expansions and stuff like that. And what I loved about it is that a lot of times the expansions that get made for games, it's like maybe it adds a player, maybe it adds an extra faction. No, these things completely change the way that you play Moonrakers. Yes. Like, you don't like how Moonrakers does diplomacy? All right, play this other variant, you know? Yeah. So it's just introduced a lot of really cool stuff. So I'm super excited.
Love this game.
Yeah.
Can't say enough about it.
Definitely one of my favorites.
All right, Brandon, contributing.
Yeah, his interview with Stan.
Yeah, so that was pretty cool. So we're getting, because we don't normally do interviews. We did our first one ever this year.
We did.
We'll get to that.
We'll do more of those.
We'll get to that shortly.
Oh, okay.
Union Stockyards, we enjoyed the play, but it's not funded
It's a Kickstarter, but that was fun.
So this is where we jumped into our top 10 list, right? The first top 10 we put out this year gets 25,000 views. I'm like,
so cheap.
Okay.
It's so cheap.
It's just like printing views, like if you want to really push the, and like, we get it. You all like watching the lists because you want to just look down a bunch. Because what those lists do to you, whether or not you call it the best or top or this or anything, it's like, here, let me just give you a list of 20 games or 10 games that we like. And that's 10 games that you may not have heard of.
Yeah, exactly.
That's really it.
I love doing lists.
That's where I think the value is in that. I think we'll do more of those this year, for sure.
Yeah.
So we started doing the lists. We did walkie-talkie.
Walkie-talkie. Listen, if you haven't played this game, you need to.
It's one
deck. It's a word game. It's one deck. Fun. It's so much fun. You could play. You can even play it with kids. Like you could play it with kids. You could play it with adults. Whatever. Yep. one of those games that just gets you thinking. If you at work, if you need something to kind of like wake everybody up a little bit before you do like a presentation, or you're thinking on your feet, something like that. This one's really cool, and I know it. Only nobody watches these little small box games, but
go check it out.
It's so much fun.
Yep, and then there's our boy Mike again doing Nemesis, another great game.
Yeah,
we did our 10 games from Target, which I'm like, we don't shop. Just so you know, we don't buy board games from Target, so we buy them from our local game store.
We do. We go to our game store. But the fact of the matter is, a lot of folks may be watching this channel, especially those not subscribed. You don't watch YouTube. It's you're shopping at Target.
Yep, non-hobbyists, for sure. Bot Factory, another
also a preview.
Great game.
Yeah.
Dice Command. So this is when Brandon and Lexi started doing reviews for the channel. So we're bringing in, as you see, some more friends to contribute to the channel. They all have their own spaces, their own channels. So we encourage you to go support their channels. Absolutely, they're up and coming. We want them to grow, and we're trying to get them the growth that they deserve. Right.
Yeah.
All of them. So there's Sarah doing an interview.
Yep.
Especially covering Moon, which we did cover. Shortly after.
Covered it afterwards.
Skyrise, that's another preview, so we haven't played the full version of that one, so we'll talk about that. Let's see, our Overland Adventure list, which we really enjoyed. I'm a big buff of Overland Adventure games. Here's our Moonrakers coverage again. So this is when we took. So 5 months ago, we took back our brand.
Yes.
And we launched Patreon. That was our...
Yeah, that was the big thing.
Our big move, and we could talk about that a little bit after we get done with this, because this has to do with the future.
Right, exactly.
Well. We'll talk about Patreon. So then there's Moon.
Yeah.
Again, preview, sneak peek, but you could tell we enjoyed the
that was fun.
The game as it was, right? Taverns and Dragons. I think that one came out. That was a nice little game.
That was a preview. Yeah.
Yeah, but I think it's since
out now. Yeah.
So that one looks pretty good. So again, we can't really talk. We haven't played the production copy. We're not gonna review it. If a reviewer is giving you a full review score on a preview copy of a board game that's not out in public yet, I'd worry about that.
Flag. Yeah.
That's a red flag for sure.
Yeah.
We totally don't do that. And people have asked us to review. What did you think about it? I'm like, this game, we've done too many previews on Kickstarter prototypes in the past that have completely changed. Rule book, rules, components, everything's changed before launch. You should never, ever hang on to a review.
Because it could go both ways. It's like either, like it could be, oh, wow, this is great, and then something critical changes, and now all of a sudden the game is like not as good as it was, or vice versa.
This was our first 3-player playthrough on the channel.
Oh, yeah, with Harrison.
Actually, I think it was our first, right?
When he had hair.
Yeah, he had like super long hair, but it's been cut since. Now he's
we took care of it.
So happy about that. You have no idea. But so he joined us for a couple of projects he's done with us when we need to do 3-player stuff, right?
Yeah.
Carnegie, or as some would say, Carnegie.
Carnegie, yeah. I liked this one.
Yeah, this one was pretty good.
Upper yellow.
Upper yellow. I agree. Upper yellow for that one. Cora.
Oh man!
So
this was a surprise.
Yeah, this one. Just looking at the game out on the table at first, I was like, it looks like a lot of just moving up charts and stuff like that. Yeah. Didn't really get excited.
It looked very dry.
It
looked
dry.
very like you're abstractly moving up these charts.
Yeah, it looked very Lignum at first, and I was just like, I use Lignum as our kind of joke because it's a game about wood, aging wood, so it's dry. But it is a game about pushing cubes, turning one cube into another cube.
Yeah.
But in any case, we played Cora, loved it.
Oh, so good.
Wow, what a fun game. Okay, so for me, this is like, I wouldn't say it's quite green, but it is as high yellow.
It is. I would say the same thing. Yeah.
High yellow pushing into that green territory as you possibly can.
Yeah,
so.
like I definitely. It's on the shelf. We'll play it.
It's very safe in our collection.
Very
put
safe.
It that way.
Yeah.
All right, so we just started doing crowd spotting with Brandon and I, talking about Kickstarter stuff because I didn't want to do it myself.
Yeah.
So wonderful, enjoy that. I would do more of those with Brandon.
I like the discussion.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's about having someone to talk this stuff through with and getting a different opinion on games, right?
Right.
Just more update videos from us, and we had Nanolith again was a Kickstarter, so we won't go into that.
Yeah.
Catherine, the Cities of Serena.
Right. Also behind us.
Yeah. Catherine for me.
Hold on. Let me get it. Because now I want to look at it since it's right here. It's
Yeah.
still living on the bottom shelf.
Still living on our shelf. That's how recent this one was done.
Right. It was okay.
It was okay. This is mid to lower yellow for me right now. I
Yeah.
need to get a few more plays in before I can truly find where it belongs in our collection. But didn't love the game. Put it that way.
Yeah.
Didn't hate it, but didn't love it.
Yeah, it was okay. Like solid, okay.
Schmaybe.
We'll play. Yeah.
A solid schmaybe.
Solid maybe.
All right. So, Sea of Legends. This was a Kickstarter preview of an expansion for it.
Oh, right.
Original Sea of Legends. High yellow for me.
Yeah.
Love the adventure. Love the whole going around the pirate thing. I thought it was really good. So it's definitely in the upper echelon of yellow. Not top yellow,
Okay.
but above mid.
You're getting into gradients of yellow.
Well, that's fine. And I think that's where it needs to be
Yellow,
established. Yeah. It's where it would trend more
Right.
orange. Power Core, that one didn't fund, so I don't know where that landed.
Yeah.
Philosophy. Oh, that was another Kickstarter. I'm not sure if that funded. I think it might have funded.
I think it did.
Really short, witty little tile placement
Yeah,
game.
it's a little. It was interesting because you're manipulating each other's tiles. So again, very abstract. If you're into those abstract kind of games, where like you're flipping the tile like out of the ring kind of thing, and
yeah, it was neat. It was neat.
Not dexterity wise, but just like
kind of pushing tiles away.
Yeah, like chess wise, it was like magnetic. Like
yeah, it was neat.
Moving them.
More Nexus updates. So this one, our market went live 4 months ago. Dawn of Ulos was a preview of an expansion.
Yeah. Another preview.
Not an expansion. Preview of a game within the role player world.
Yes.
Sorry. We did cover an expansion later, so can't really talk to that one. Did enjoy it though. Merchant's Cove expansion. Merchant's Cove itself. How would you rate Merchant's Cove?
I would say high yellow. It's
too.
really fun. What I like about it is that it has these like little mini, like it's asymmetrical, but not to the point where you're spending 2 hours explaining to everybody how to play. Yeah. Like you're doing the same, you're vying for the same kind of points. You're just going about getting them in a different way, almost like mini games.
Yes.
So it's in an easier asymmetrical situation to get to the table, which is fun. And then the new expansions that came out just added to the original, like not I don't want to say factions that you can play, but like your merchants that you can play.
Yeah.
And the new ones that came out are more in depth, like they're deeper strategy.
Yeah.
So that was refreshing. But yeah, it was fun. It's a good game.
Okay. It's Merchant's Cove is definitely.
It's one of those ones that like for us. It's kind of like I think like my top tier games are games that probably not a lot of people would want to play.
True.
Besides like you and me. But this Merchant's Cove is one of those ones that like, or even Catherine, like the Cities of the Tsarina, like you can bring them out at a game night and teach it quickly, play it quickly, and then move on to something else.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Onto the real game you want to play that night. Right? So Merchant's Cove is kind of a fun.
It's a fun one.
Depending on the audience, right? So it's enjoyable.
Yep.
10 Penny Parks.
Similar. I really enjoyed 10 Penny Parks.
That one's definitely upper yellow for me. Really enjoyed it. It's a fun game. It's cool. I love building theme parks, and it just hits all the right feels. Another thing about Merchant's Cove for me, going back, that I didn't get a chance to say, is that it doesn't break the cardinal rule for asymmetry.
Which is
in that you are forced to play specific character classes or specific factions with a lower player count.
Yes, exactly.
Which you know what games I'm talking about that require that.
Yeah.
Don't like any of those.
Yeah.
If it breaks that rule, it doesn't get played.
Right. Yeah, because it's so boring to like, okay, you can be this one or this one.
Yeah, so we're not going to play the birds and the cats every game.
Yeah. It's just
every game we play with the two of us, we have to play the birds and the cats, unless we get the AI guy that comes in and it's just this whole workaround thing, and I'm like, I can't.
Yeah, this one, it's like this Merchant's Cove. You can kind of like play whichever merchant you want to. Or multiples, I guess, if you.
Exactly, and I think that's how asymmetry is done right, in my opinion. Yeah. All right, Saturday night. Boardgames. This was our first panel.
Yeah.
Where we did a crowdfunding deep dive.
Yeah.
Again, we talked about crowdfunding. We're not going to do that. I think we're getting away from the crowdfunding talks and getting more about retail, what games are hot right now.
Well, and what games we like to play. Yeah. Like the last couple of panels we've done have been like, I think newer games, but it's been like stuff we're excited about playing that we've been playing. It's kind of tried and tested and true, and you can go get it if you want it.
We talked about games that we ended up getting right after.
from our friends on the panel, and we're like, oh yeah, I'll have to pick that up, and then we go buy it.
And we go get it. Like, so that's like, I like that. I
Yeah.
don't want this. Hey, let's talk about games coming out next year, right?
Maybe,
Like, that's
yeah.
just too much, man.
Yeah.
So we did our culling live. We're going to do another one this year,
Yeah,
for
because
sure.
we have another
half.
collection.
We
to
have
go
1, 2, 3 more calyxes, 4x4 calyxes to go through.
through. Yeah.
Kingdom Come Deliverance. Real shame that didn't fund.
Yeah, I was surprised. About
Would have been
that.
so good. Would have been so good.
Yeah.
Mike doing more of what he does. Tainted Grail expansion. Can't talk about it. Mind your business. A fun little game that's, I don't know if it's out. I don't think it's retail yet, but that's
Not yet.
it
It's
was
coming,
funded
yeah.
on Kickstarter.
Yeah.
Bonnie and Clyde, another Kickstarter.
Ah,
ISS Vanguard.
stop.
Which is our top game of the year for sure, 2022. Yeah.
Yeah,
If there was an
yeah.
award to give, that would be the game. Hands down. Best overland adventure game.
Over
RPG.
space.
Over space and overland RPG.
Yeah, it's just
Period.
It's just such a different experience
Mhm.
than any other. To the extent that maybe you don't even consider it like a, I don't know. It's. I mean, it's not like a traditional like Euro worker placement board game type of thing, but yeah, it's that overland adventure type of thing where
Yeah.
you're exploring, you're finding stuff. But I think what sets it over for me is this whole ship phase
Yeah.
that I've never seen before. Where you're playing the game, you're doing your normal stuff that you do to play, but instead of just cleaning it up, you're actually filing everything away. You're going through the whole binder.
Yeah.
You're talking about like, okay, who do I want to bring out? Who am I healing? What am I doing with this? There's just so many, it's a whole separate game session to manage your ship once you get back to the ship.
Yeah. It
Before
takes
you go on your next
at least
mission.
an hour to do that.
And then you're doing your launch for the, it's just, there's so much game here
Yeah.
that you could probably just buy this game and not have to buy any other games.
For a while.
If you just want to dive in completely to
Yeah.
Access
It would keep you busy for
Yeah.
a long time. There's another
Yeah.
panel we did. So
we started doing our Marvel. Or
Dice
our
Throne.
Dice Throne,
Yeah, Black Panther versus Captain
Which
Marvel.
we
We
have more
have
here. Black
3
Widow,
more
Doctor
pairings to
Strange,
get through
yeah.
this year. We'll do them. It's just coming.
So much fun, too.
Duos. We just
Oh,
played that the other night.
Duos. I gotta give a shout out to Duos though, because
she loves
this
that
was
one.
a game I love, and nobody else in my house ever wants to play.
I like to think when I play games.
Well, I know it's a
Not,
goofy.
not guess what you're thinking.
It's a goofy
'Cause
game. I know it's
if
a
you
bad.
get inside
this
this
is
head, let me tell you, it's just
there's no escaping.
yeah, it's hard. It takes a while to come back.
we actually just pulled this out the other day again. My parents we were gaming, and it was like we'd like time for one more quick game.
Yeah,
And I'm like, let's play Duos.
yeah,
And if you know the people you're playing with, that makes it fun because you're trying to guess what other people are going to guess.
Mm-hmm.
And it's one of these things where you're making associations that some people make certain associations and other people make different associations. And the way that the cards are illustrated and constructed, I think it's intentional that like they have things that are similar. And the longer you look at the set of cards,
yeah.
the more similarities you can. So a lot of people compare it to like Dixit in a way.
Okay.
So if you're a fan of those kinds of games, Mysterium, like that kind of thing.
Yeah.
This is a much quicker to the table version of that. Still don't know where you can get it because it was released at Essen. It's by Grana.
Yeah, I'm not sure where
but
it is.
I
now.
wouldn't be surprised if it didn't show up at like Target or something.
Yeah, I could see that happening. V-Sabotage was really good.
Yeah.
Cooperative
I
stealth
liked
board
this
game.
one. I think this game showed me that I like being stealthy in games.
Yeah, it's very much like the Assassin's Creed game
Yeah.
we covered a little while back, but World War II Commandos.
Yeah.
Really, really cool. It goes by a couple different names, but if you're into that, it was really fun, actually. Her Story we touched on before. That was a
Yeah.
really nice game. Educational.
Yeah, it was cool. It's another same trekking through history. Same
Yeah,
company.
so really, really nice, really pretty art, really, and a lot to learn in just the characters. You know,
Yeah, it
it's
was
a
cool.
really good learning aid. So, Role Player Adventures, Galpac Secrets. That was an expansion coming out for Role
Yes.
Player Adventures. Role Player Adventures itself, high yellow for me.
Yeah.
Really, really like that
We've
system.
been really getting into these adventure games.
Yeah, really well done, really
So.
fun, great narrative. Really sucks you in. What another panel? We're just doing these panels. Castle Burgundy. That was another the Kickstarter, so we won't go to that. Angel
Yeah.
Fury. This was
Oh,
a true
yeah.
release.
Yeah, this was fun. And I wasn't sure
yeah.
how I was going to feel about this one. I mean, thematically, obviously, it was really cool. But when you look at the board, I'm like, ugh, it's like a lot of minis. It looks like a battle. I don't know if I'm going to like this. But it was very, like, chess-like almost.
Yeah.
Like, it was really neat the way that you can move your groups of units, right, to kind of mass destroy other units.
Yeah, it's just like throwing waves of armies against each other.
It was a lot like the same feeling you get kind of with like Dice Throne, where you're just like massive destruction,
big attacks
on either side,
big casualties. So it was really cool. I think that it was neat to watch the board go from just overwhelming numbers of armies to just getting whittled down to the end and just battling over the soul
without having to worry about like, okay, this guy's worth this many hit points and let me do a bunch of calculations and all that. kind of
real
stuff.
simple, real fast. A lot of cool like deck construction. Really neat, really cool game. Gutenberg. This one was kind of meh for me.
Yeah, this was kind of meh.
Yeah, so this is like a lower yellow for me.
And again, I wanted to really like this one because I like printing presses. I'm into old-fashioned-y type of stuff. But for me, it was just kind of like...
Yeah.
That's okay.
Yeah, it didn't really like blow my doors off, put it that way. So another interview with Jumal Juju. It's got 3 really... This
was our first interview on the channel. It's really fun.
This was our very first. So you know, we've known Juma since Clans of Caledonia when he was first kickstarting that. So he's got 3 really exciting titles coming
out.
out.
And we will be working with him on all 3 of those coming up soon.
Very cool.
Yeah, it's exciting.
Bestiaria Siglium. This one didn't fund, I don't believe.
But I think it's like going to retail anyway.
Yeah, going to retail. It's a video game port.
Yeah.
Planet Unknown.
Scroll over that one. I need to see the video. Oh, yes, I love this game.
She loves it, but she didn't know what it was.
But I didn't recognize the title. This, I feel like I'm talking a lot, but I'm getting so excited. Do you want to tell the people what you think about this game?
You're so excited. Let's hear it.
I love this. This is a green game for me.
Green?
Actually.
I think this is my lower tier green.
It'll be lower tier green, but it's a green game.
It's green.
This is... what I love about it is it plays so fast. Like, fast enough that you could just get it out to the table.
Yep.
If you play... We should have played this one the other night, too. If you play with more people, it doesn't necessarily take longer. Because everyone's sort of
Everyone goes at the same time.
At the same time.
Yeah.
You're just taking from different areas of this, like, Lazy Susan in the middle.
Yeah.
And what I liked about it is that all the planets are different. All the like factions are different, so you can play as like a different corporation with a different planet and really assemble like a, I don't know, like it's just like your challenges each game are different depending on how you put these things together.
Yep.
And it's just a lot of fun. It's like the most fun tile placement game I've
Probably
played in a really long time.
our top rated tile placement game.
Yeah, it's so much fun.
Period.
Yeah.
Axon Protocol, that was a pretty cool
Yeah.
Kickstarter. Mystias, those are 2 solo expansions for Mystia and Achaeon, which both looked really cool.
Yeah. Duke and Danger.
Duke and Danger, another Kickstarter, but that was another Harrison visit with haircut this time.
Yes.
Yep, see? Then we had another panel. Then we did My Little Everdell, which for kids, this is one of the top-rated kids games, I think.
So good, yeah.
To learn how to do worker placement and sort of set collection. I think that's a phenomenal new game that came out. We did our updates. Now we're getting to sort of more recent stuff. So we did on Lacerda. You did the
Hunt to Killer.
Hunt to Killer, which you enjoyed so much. You did an all-women's panel about kids, games, and parents about raising new gamers. I think this is something
we have a little, we're calling it Raising Gamers.
Yeah, and I think this is a format and a topic that really needs to be promoted more out in our hobby.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because we are calling to action for the next generation of gamers to really sustain this hobby, you know, in the future and beyond. And what better way to do that than get your children involved?
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
Get them to love the games.
Right. And I mean, we do that in our house.
We try.
We
try. Really try.
Yeah, we really try. And we have, I mean, Harrison will play with us, even if it's for money.
Yeah, and Maddie.
But Maddie gets into
is really starting to come into her own with the games.
She is. And I played My Little Everdell with her a couple of times, and she asks to play that. She likes to play King of Tokyo.
So that's just 2 out of 6 we've got.
I played Medium with Maddie the other day.
Yeah, and you guys really
which nobody ever
that.
wants to play that one with me either.
Yeah, another one where getting into your head is afraid
I
won't come back out. That'll be it.
Yeah, but that was a fun panel to do because we kind of talked about games for younger kids, sort of early readers to like, I don't know, through like grade school age, and games we like to play with them. But I think we're going to do another one specifically talking about how to modify games for even younger audiences.
That'll be interesting.
So, like, and you know this from spending the week with us last week, that our 2.5-year-old is getting into. She likes to unbox games now, so she likes to take the game out of the box, take all the pieces out of the box, and then put all the pieces back in the box.
Yeah,
and that's the extent kind of what she's doing, and it drives him.
Drives me nuts, let me tell you. It drives me nuts, and it's just because I find pieces and I step on boxes now, and like you basically.
Well, those are her memory.
They've been creeping into our games.
No, I manage it.
Mm-hmm. I'll send pictures, folks, just so that we have record of this happening.
Listen, I'm not gonna make her hate games, okay?
I don't want her to hate them, but I think there's certain ones that I want to keep on the shelves until a later date.
Yeah, what was she was taking out Explores the North Sea the other day?
She had her unboxing.
One,
let me just say, My Little Scythe, right? She's too young for that.
I know, but they're so cute.
Yeah, they are. But you know what?
She calls it her Apple game.
Cards bent, missing components, potential box bending.
I know.
That makes my soul hurt. And then you all know what I'm talking about. And I know you're all on my side on this one.
I'm watching her while she does it. I'm not like leaving her
just
here.
Just put it out there.
All the games.
Just like saying, "Oh, I'm watching this guy eat potato chips and Doritos while he's playing games," and I'm like, "Well, I'm watching him." Wow. Watching him lick his fingers and touch the cards, and they're not sleeved. Think about that. I know you're all cringing right now, and it hurts.
Right.
Lacrimosa. So this was all right.
It was okay. Yeah. I did like it. I thought the strategy was interesting, and I'm a huge music fan.
Yeah.
So it was like.
And it's a beautiful game.
It is a beautiful game.
Right. So, but it wasn't like knock my doors off thematically. I didn't.
You didn't feel attached to
I couldn't feel the theme really tying into what I was doing. That's the only thing where like I'm really a sucker for that.
Yeah.
Where I need the theme to be really ingrained.
But it was one of the first games recently that we've played that I felt like was actually a little heavier.
Yeah, it was heavier, and it was chunky enough that I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Lands of Galzier, really love this one.
Yeah.
High yellow, low green, somewhere in that, right on that cusp.
Yeah.
Beautiful game, a lot of fun, just enjoyable. This is Boardgames End for true.
This was one that I like particularly just to relax and play a game.
It's a relaxing game.
Yeah.
East India Company, really enjoyed this one, surprisingly.
Really
I did not expect really to like this one.
Well, because normally the trading and economy stuff for us doesn't work because we're 2 people.
Yep.
And so for this one, the AI was very helpful, I guess, and it worked out. Like it did enough. It did its job without being overwhelming, and it was a lot of fun. I liked it.
Yep. And then finally, our last video of last year was Mill Fury. So that one, look, we gave it a pretty bad 2-player review.
Right.
There's no question. We were like, this is not for 2 players.
It's not for 2.
We played it with 4 players. And it is a lot better.
It is a lot better.
A lot better. Now, granted, you have to keep in mind that when you finish this game, the winner could be 40 or 50 points ahead.
Or 100 points
ahead. Or 100 points. Yeah, we got lapped. We got literally lapped by her mom.
Yeah.
So that will happen in this game. Yeah. And if you're okay with that, because it's if you want to know what point salad is, everything you do you get points for, this is that game.
Right.
You just score constantly. And then you start triggering things where you start scoring 20 points at a clip. Boom, boom, boom. And now you're 60 points ahead of everybody.
So what happened, like, we played, my mom ended up on this, like, streak where she just got a bunch of points. And towards the end of the game, it's like, I think she had, like, she completed one thing, and then you get to play another card. But then the card that she picks allowed her to play another card. So she got points for playing and then got to play another card. So you just kind of can go boom, 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 boom. and you end up with like 50 points or something. And that's one of the things in the 2-player game that we exploited was like on the key track, you play a card, and let's say you get 3 in a row, so now you get to play another card, and then you pick a key card that's available from the offer, and you play it, and now you get to score the 20 points, and now you got that, and then so it's just kind of, and then if you get another card because there's nobody in between to stop that from happening, because I will say with 4 people we didn't climb the key track.
We were able to
obviously,
stop
we expected
moves.
that. We were able to stop that, but I still felt like the way the game plays is it's not I feel like you're playing so defensively the whole time.
You are.
You're really playing to like not have other people do things. And those aren't my favorite kinds of games. So although it's beautiful,
you may forego a good move
yeah.
to score in order to defend against a move from another player.
Because you have to. Like,
Yeah.
I still, every hand that I got, I still looked at it first to see if there were key cards.
Mm-hmm.
And then I looked to see what everybody else needed to make sure I'm not passing on anything that might help them.
Mm-hmm.
And then from there, I got to make a decision about maybe what I want to do.
Right.
And so it was like, okay. Like, I liked it.
So this is,
But
it went from a lower
it
yellow.
was gorgeous.
It went from a low yellow
Yeah.
to a mid yellow.
Yeah. So that being said, I would definitely bring it out, play it again. We're keeping it.
It
and
moves.
It moves. And it's easy to teach. And
Yeah.
it is fun. Like, you
It's
do have
enjoyable.
fun playing it.
But you kind of get frustrated when you see somebody chaining those moves.
Well,
And you're just like sitting there going,
I get excited.
okay.
I mean, here's the thing. I get excited about it. And that's why you can't take it too seriously. Because it's like, it could be you that gets that.
True.
But it could be
I
something
don't-
else for somebody else.
I'm not a huge fan of
But if
systems that allow people to set something up that they just continue to score, and you just have
Yeah.
to sit back and watch it. It's like, okay,
Well,
there should
and
be
I
a
think
limit to this.
that got to the point where, like, if you're playing, you can't be somebody who's playing for, like, I'm going to be the best decisions and I'm going to try to get the most points.
You'll go AP on a game that really
not meant for that.
shouldn't have that,
Yeah.
because you've got these choices and you're like, well, if I do this, I'm going to set them up for this, but if I do
Right.
this, I'm going to set them up for this, and it's like, but I want to do this.
Yeah.
And, so you're just sitting there like, man,
Right,
painting over 4 cards to get the best move, and
Yeah.
so it can lock you up.
So, but anyway, I agree. It went for me being like a low yellow, probably red, because as 2 players,
2-player
we
wouldn't
won't
work
play
for
it
us.
again.
Yeah,
But with 4,
it was
it
kind
was
of fun.
definitely
It was fun
and
with
it's
4.
one that I would bring out and
So
play
I
again.
want-
So
I wanted to just clear that up so that folks didn't think that we were poo-pooing on the game in itself. I still don't think, like everybody in the comments on that video was like, hey,
I
you
won't
can
play
do
it
this, you
too.
can do that,
No,
you can
I don't
tweak
wanna
this. I'm
make
like,
adjustments.
I'm not house ruling stuff. I don't do that.
yeah,
If a game out of the box doesn't provide me with the variant for the player count
yeah,
that it's offering,
I'll play another game.
I'll play a different game.
Yeah,
That's it.
which is fine. So this
It's not
will
up
be,
to me to figure out how to play a game,
Yeah, it'll be.
or to change the rules
Right.
to make it suit a player count.
Yes, it'll be on our list for other multiple player games.
Yeah.
Because it did play quick. I think we were done
Yeah.
with it in like an hour.
Oh yeah, I think it's
With 4
a
people.
good 4-player
Yeah.
game that moves quickly and it has a lot of good chunky decisions and massive amounts of points. So if you have
Yeah.
a group that loves to score, this
Yeah.
is right up there for you.
Yeah.
But otherwise, I don't want this whole video to turn into a review of No
really
Fury,
fair.
which is what I was trying to avoid. But that's okay. I think we talked about it enough.
Okay.
So we're done going through a year in review. So we looked at all of
Yes.
last year, all the content we put out. What else do we have to cover?
So you want to talk about going forward?
All right, so let's talk about our future.
Okay.
All right, so what we'll do for this final segment is we're going to recap sort of where we are personally in our personal lives. We'll share a little bit of insight on that, and then we'll talk about our Patreon. I think we want to like kind of just put out there what our Patreon offers
Yeah.
to our patrons, and and not only that, but also to thank our current patrons for
Yes.
everything they've done up until this point. We'll go into that more in a bit,
Right.
and I think we'll just let you know where we're heading in 2023. Both on a personal, professional level, and just sort of give you a little bit more insight there.
Sounds good.
All right, so where do we want to begin?
We can start. Let's start with like personal stuff.
Personal things.
So,
Okay. Let's
So
reflect on that.
since we just explained to you all the things we did in 2022, and that was a lot of work. Like recapping it, I'm like, wow, we actually
Yeah.
did a lot in 2022.
2022 was a tough year.
It was
A really tough
one of
year.
the biggest personal accomplishments I think that we made is that I gave birth to a baby, another baby number 2.
we had a
So-
child. It was Francis's second child,
Yes,
my 6th.
yes,
Right.
yes.
So we had our son, and he is almost
8 months.
Almost 8 months now.
He's
So,
born May.
so as you can imagine, like when we did this whole sort of reflecting on all the things we put out content-wise for the channel, keep in mind that a child was born to this household during that period.
So it was funny because like we've been working on the website for it was like a year in the making. So like the whole first quarter of 2022 was me on the phone with our web hosts, basically like, this thing needs to be live by April because I need a month to test it before I give birth.
Right.
So I spent actually all of my maternity leave, since I wasn't working, in the time that I wasn't managing the baby, working on the website and getting kinks and stuff like that worked out. And that was aside from us actually doing
content.
Yeah.
So there was
a lot.
A ton of work that went into all of this, right? I had started a new job at the end of January, so that was for me brand new. Like I had to restart my career.
Yeah.
I've been in the finance industry for decades, and it's been so starting a new job, at the executive level is it's difficult. I think starting a new job at any level is difficult, but equally so, like where I had to come in as a manager and really trying to learn a new business and all that. So that was very, very challenging. Right. So the year was tough.
It was a tough year.
But I think we got through everything we wanted to get through successfully. We ended the year on a lot of positive notes.
Yeah.
Both again professionally and personally. So I got my promotion that I've been working my whole year towards.
I would say more than just your whole year.
My whole career
towards
getting a promotion. So so I'm a C-level executive now, which is something I've always wanted to be.
Yeah.
Obviously working towards that, getting my MBA, all that other stuff, like just really building towards this. And this was kind of like the pinnacle of it at the end of the year. It was just like it all kind of came to a close. So we're very fortunate and we're very blessed in everything we have.
Absolutely.
Right? So we're grateful to all of it, and we're grateful, on a personal level, and again, we're grateful to all of you when it comes to the whole YouTube side of our lives.
Yeah.
And the following that we've had.
Right.
And we've seen, like I said, we talked about it earlier, but just the tremendous growth on the channel as of recently. I think people are starting to come around in the community and see things for what they really were years ago, and understand us a little bit better in our values and who we really are as individuals.
Yeah, I will say that has been probably, especially the last quarter of 2022, we started having a lot more conversations with like publishers and things that we've worked with, some of whom we've worked with over the past several years, and some whom we've maybe done content for in a roundabout way, and some that we've never had discussions with, who we found out are actually big supporters of the channel and all of that, which has been really cool connecting again.
And I think
folks.
Holistically, it's refreshing to know that everybody out there, although you don't realize it, knows who the good ones are and who the bad ones are. I'll put it that way, right? And it's not hard to figure that out if you're awake and aware of who's doing what and what their motives are, right?
Yeah,
so
it's very interesting.
Yeah, we won't go down that rabbit hole, but
culture.
if you take the time and you're curious about it, just go poke around. You'll find out who's who and who thinks what and who hangs out with who and who kind of amplifies who, and it becomes very clear, people's motives, and it's unfortunate, but we've never changed who we are, over the years. We've always been transparent about our values and about like wanting to improve this hobby, improve the community, build on it, help publishers get games out, make sales, continue to build on this industry,
right?
Without using an attack on other people to get there, right? Stepping on others to get there.
Well, I think it's like there's some people, and this goes probably for any industry, right?
Yeah.
You're either contributing to something or you're drawing from it. You're drawing energy from it. You're drawing whatever it is that you're trying to fulfill inside of you. You're drawing from a community. You know what I mean? As opposed to contributing to it and growing it and protecting it for the future, I guess. And that's where we've always tried to land. And then it's kind of like the fringe benefits are cool and they make you feel good. Like I said, we're, like looking at how much we've done and stuff feels great. But we're not in this in any way to like, I don't know, capitalize on it or make it like, all about
Yeah,
us,
we're not looking at it like this is a financial opportunity we need to capitalize on.
Yes.
And how do we get more money out of
But I
these
think that,
publishers?
But the honesty is, I won't digress on this, but a lot of people in a lot of different spaces do that.
They do.
And it's either they're capitalizing it for money or they're capitalizing on it to, again, fill some kind of void within themselves. You know what I mean? So,
or because they think it's an opportunity to start a career, right? You know what? I don't like what I'm doing for a living. I like doing content. I want to make money here. There's no fault in that. I think it's a lot of people do it well in it, but it's all about how are they doing it and what are they
giving up?
What are they giving up and what is their approach to it, right? Are they trying to make money through clickbait?
Yeah.
And hype and all that, or are they trying to put out a good product and then organically growing a following and making support financially through that? And there's a lot of good seeds out there doing that, and there's a lot of bad seeds out there trying to capitalize on it. And it is up to you as a consumer and as a supporter and as a patron to make that determination on who gets your money. Right. And because that's the critical part of this, right? Is who do you want to support? Because there's so many out there now, and you only have so much money to give out.
Right.
Maybe you only can afford to support 2
Yeah.
channels out there. Are you supporting the ones that are doing it in a way that lines up with your values? That's all we're saying.
Yeah. So good segue, right? Because I mean, we've kind of gone on and on and on about, you know, we don't do this for the money, we don't do this for the, you know, fame and glory and all that stuff. But but it does cost money to run the channel.
It
So
does.
so as we've mentioned many times, we started the Patreon, we got on the Patreon game.
And mind you, like we do the Patreon because we spend that money at our local game store.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
And we buy games to play for you on the channel. We don't get games from every publisher. We just don't.
Yeah.
There are some publishers who don't, you know, we send emails to, they don't return our emails. They don't want to hear from us, right? There's other publishers who come to us and ask us, right, to review their games. So we have a lot of good publisher friends that do provide games to the channel, but there are still a lot of publishers who we don't get games from, right? But we want to play their games, right?
Do we?
Well, in some instances we do.
I don't know. I guess I just look at it from a different perspective because I'm just so happy with everything that we're playing.
Yeah.
That I'm like, there's really nothing out there that I'm like, oh, I really want to play that, but they won't send us the game.
Well,
you know
we don't ever.
We don't really ask. Like.
We seldom ask for games, right?
Yeah.
And that's on us, right? So that's just the truth. We seldom ask for games. We will just go buy them.
Yeah.
So if I'm like, all right, that one looks cool, we're at the game store. We go.
I'm very non-confrontational.
Yeah, we just don't want to
get the money and go buy the game.
Yeah,
and then
there have been instances where we've asked in the past for a handful of games from certain publishers who are always like, oh yeah, sure, that would be great. We're just out of copies now, and you don't hear back from them,
right?
Like, whether or not they forget.
Well, it's like, well, we know what that means.
Yeah, you kind of know when there were publishers who've worked closely with us in the past. Suddenly don't, right? There's usually
there's one
probably count them on one hand, right?
Yeah.
So we just don't work with them, right?
Yeah.
Doesn't mean we don't play their games. We still buy their games. We just don't do it in a promotional sort of way, right? And not that it would change how we feel about it, whether or not we got a review copy or we bought a copy. Our reviews are our reviews, and our feelings are our feelings. I don't think getting a copy free is enough of a boon to give them a good review.
No. Well, Millie Fiore to your.
Yeah, that was a review. Yeah, we didn't praise it. We said it doesn't work at 2. Like that was actually a review copy that we were given to do that one. So again, we don't always give good reviews. That's just if we don't always give good reviews to games we get as review copies.
Right.
Put it that way. And every game we buy, we don't always look at it through more scrutiny. Like if we buy a game and it's good, we praise it. If we buy a game and it's bad,
we bought East India Companies.
Yeah, we bought East India Companies and we loved it and we praised it. We didn't ask for a review copy on that one. Again, we don't always ask for review copies. We do less and less now. If we get, because now we have the Patreon to back us, and I think I think it's more appropriate that we buy the games that we review for the most part. If we're not going to turn down review copies if somebody wants us to review a game, but at the end of the day,
well, I would. My thing is like review copies aside. That is a very small piece. In running this channel.
Agreed.
Okay, so.
Yes. So take that out of the window.
Review copies aside. Take it out of the equation completely. We have a very dark corner over here because our light went out.
Yes.
This other light went out.
We need to buy new lighting.
So like, we need new lighting. It's
the studio lights we buy are very expensive. So if they go out, we got to replace them. The equipment, the camera is expensive. The microphones are expensive. The
running everything. Oh, it's
running
all
it.
costs.
The subscription costs. I buy a subscription to our video editing software. Our streaming software, everything has a cost to it. It's like, and where is that coming from? And it used to come out of pocket, like we said, but we have a lot of mouths to feed, and we just we're not going to do it out of pocket anymore. We'll just put it that way. So, in any case, that's where we are with why we do Patreon now, and that's where the money goes. We don't make it's not like a ton of money, but it's wonderful to be able to have that to spend on the things we need to spend on.
So it's also really cool because we've been able to form these relationships with folks who support the channel, and it's kind of like it's not like a business relationship like you would expect it to be, like the investor meetings. You know what I mean? It's not like that. It's just like these are people who like love what we do, love us without really. No, I mean I guess like they know us. We don't know them, but this gives us an opportunity to know them, which is just been so much fun. Like it's been awesome. So we wanted to just say a huge, and we've already thanked them too, but we want to say thank you again just publicly to everybody who has been supporting us, because it's so much fun to interact with you and get to know you. And it makes it real for us because while you watch us all the time, we're like just two people talking to a camera.
Yep.
So
you could say like we haven't done a live stream on our channel in a while.
Yeah.
But we've done a bunch.
Oh yeah.
With our patrons, like we do live streams like every month, so they get to see that.
It's like better to manage because then you're only you have like not a handful, but you've got more people. But you don't have like thousands of people.
It's more intimate, right? Because they're asking specific questions. We have time to stop and look and read, and we're not rushing through the game because we don't want people to get bored.
Yeah.
Not to say we won't do live streams for the whole channel. I think we should do a few this year.
Yeah.
Live playthroughs. They're always tougher to do.
Yeah.
But I'm not saying it's out of the question.
Right.
But we do reserve a lot of that for the patrons because they're paying.
Right.
To get access to us. Yeah, and we'll go through that in a moment. We'll detail.
Yeah, we can do that now if you want.
Do that now. Yeah, so it's a good segue, right? So with Patreon, right, we kept it to 3 tiers. The low tier, the three.
We're all about 3.
We're just
red,
threes.
Yellow, green.
Everything in threes. It's simple, right? It's very simple. So the lowest tier is $3, right? That's just support the channel. And look, we've done research on all of our peers to see what they're offering at their tiers. So this lines up with, at least the lower tiers line up with everybody else, right?
Yeah.
And we'll tell you why our top tier doesn't line up with everybody else. Our low tier is just, you get access to the chat, you get our updates that we push through on Patreon, the messaging and all that good stuff. The $6 tier gets all that, plus they get the syndicate, we'll call it, of our live plays, right? So once we finish our live stream, we post the, like a week later, we'll post out the links, and they get to watch all those because they're on our YouTube channel.
The voting.
And they get to vote on any game order.
Every now and then, a lot of times we'll put out like, and I can't say it's like every week or every video.
It's like
but
once a month.
We have these, we sit here and we're like, all right, we've got like 2 or 3 games we're looking at. We can do any one of them. It doesn't really matter to us. So we'll put it out to our patrons and be like, vote, tell us what you want to see. And they'll pick for us.
We try to look strategically at what games are in our collection and that we have in our queue to review. And we have a lot of games, probably close to 20 games, I think, at this point, right? So we're not going through the whole list, but we just have a lot of games to cover. What we typically do is say, okay, what doesn't have a lot of playthroughs out there for, right? Or what playthroughs are out there are like, there needs to be a new one. It's just not covered well enough. Then we'll look and we'll target that game and we'll do a playthrough of it just to get some content out. But there are times where we're like, all right, guys, here's 4 games. Which one do you want us to do next? And they'll all vote, and then we'll do that one next.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's great. And it gives us guidance, and it gives them a little bit of say in where the channel's going. And I think that's great, right? So that's the $6 tier.
Yep.
$10 tier gets all that plus. Now, here's where we differ from our peers, because our $10 tier gives away the farm. It really does. Like, honestly,
far.
in comparison, it gives a ton away.
Yeah, we were surprised because we were like, oh, I hope this is enough. And I'm always worried because I'm always like, are we doing enough for our patrons? And like, we'll be like cooking dinner or something. And I'm like, oh, we should really do like a video for them. And it's like, well, we did one last week.
Yeah, like we just did one last
another
week. Do we need to do another one? But it's just because we feel like, we want to give everybody the best value for their money. They're putting money into this, and it's like you feel bad. I'm like, God, how much more can we do, right? So here's what we're giving you at $10, like $10, and we're telling you all this so you understand that we're not just taking money.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly.
So we're doing at least one live stream a month where they get to watch us play, right?
Yeah, which I think we'll talk about in a minute.
Yeah.
What we're looking to do for that going forward in 2023.
Right. So we'll tweak that. Yeah. You get a T-shirt after your first month. We're sending you an Ant Lab T-shirt. You pick the size you order it. You get a coupon.
We give you a code.
Yeah, you get a coupon code that gives you a free shirt. You just pay the shipping.
Yes, you just pay shipping, but it's like $3.
Yeah, and you're getting a free T-shirt, right? So there's your first month's money back, and then some, right? Yeah. So you're getting that free T-shirt, and you're in a giveaway, right?
Yes.
And the reason we say giveaways is because Patreon has rules about giveaways, right? They can't be random selected, which is stupid. And we'll figure that out. Don't worry. But we've already done a giveaway for our patrons. They got Bitoku. They got a gift away. A gift away. They got Bitoku, right? We sent it to that individual. We shipped it. Done. Shipped it on us. Yeah. There you go. There's your free game. We have enough free games to give away once a month for the rest of the year for our patrons. Yeah. Already. Yeah. Right?
New and
done deal. Yeah. So that's going to happen as well. And you are automatically entered into this.
Yes. Well, people are going to make you now if you're a patron, you have to comment or something like that. We have to
come up with some.
We have to find a way to kind of
to circumvent the Patreon restrictions on it. Yeah. But either way, some lucky patron at the $10 tier is going to get a free board game every month. Right. Right. Yeah. So there you go. This is normally a $20+ tier.
I don't even know if other people are doing giveaways, to be honest with you.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Who knows? But in any case, this is what you're getting. So I think that alone is pretty good value. Like if you win the game,
you basically take care of your 6 months
for most of the half the year's worth of Patreon, right? So I think it's a pretty good deal, and we hope it seems fair and generous, and that's where we're going for. We want people to feel like they're getting value out of this, because you're paying $10 a month. Right. So, and this is where we come down to what are you doing and how are you, are you in it to just support the content creator, or are you in it to support them plus get some extra stuff?
Yeah, we want to kind of land there. We want you guys to be
We want you to feel like you're not just supporting us, but you're also getting something out of it, because your support, your financial support means so much.
It really does.
It's huge, and we want to make sure we're giving you back enough value on that.
Yeah.
That's all.
So leave us
and make sure everything you're supporting on, everyone you're supporting on Patreon has the same best interests for you. You should. Don't ever feel like you're their client. You're our, we owe
well, that's how we see it.
Yeah, no, that's how they should see it. And if they're not, then you need to really think about who you're supporting here, because you're paying us to provide you with something extra. And if you don't feel like you're getting that from us, especially from us, let us know.
Yeah, definitely let us know.
Or anybody else who you're supporting. Make sure you let them know too, right?
So let's talk about the live plays, because I think we want to touch on what we want to do for 2023. We've got a couple of things that we've been doing. So first of all, we do a lot of learning plays. Yeah. So we have games set up upstairs on our dining room table all the time. Anthony's been good about just getting them out, getting them set up, and then we play them. We usually play half a game, a couple half games or something, and then we'll bring it down to our filming table, and we'll turn on the cameras for our patrons. These are sometimes scheduled, they're sometimes last minute.
Scheduled the day of or 2 days before.
We're feeling like filming today. And so we'll just do a live stream as we're learning the full game. I think the last one we did was Millefiore.
It is, yeah.
Actually, with our patrons. So they got to see us play a full game with 2 players. We talked about it afterwards as kind of first impressions, very informally. Yep. So that's been a lot of fun, because we're playing the games anyway. So it's we might as well turn the camera on.
Yeah, I think it's great.
So we're doing that. And then we are planning on also doing we have an adventure game that we picked out.
Yes.
That we're going to be filming the first adventure, I guess, or first chapter for the channel, and then we'll be doing all the subsequent adventures on Patreon as
for the
well
first
as
for the
our
campaign.
live,
Yeah. So the game we chose for our first Overland adventure, just to give it away in case you are really anxious to come see this, is going to be Skyrim, the adventure game, right? We are going to play through the first chapter of the scenario, and then
For the channel.
For the channel. So that's going to go live on our channel soon, and then we're going to do the next few chapters in the adventure for our patrons only,
Right.
as live plays, and they'll get to watch and join in and help us make decisions and all that good stuff.
Yeah.
So that is something to look forward to. We're going to be doing, in addition to regular learning plays of other games we plan on playing for the channel throughout the months. Like
Exactly.
we'll definitely do a play of the Overland Adventure game, as well as learning sessions and first impressions of other games before they hit the channel.
And it won't be every game we play, obviously, but when we hit it.
Yeah, as soon as we have a free evening and we're like, all right, yeah, we're going to play this tonight, let's just turn the cameras on and do it.
Yes, and I will say too, for anybody who cares, and especially those of you who have kids, we did sleep train our 7-month-old this month. So
yeah, so
he is fine. I'll tell you what, for the last 7 months, he's been waking up every 2 to 3 hours all night long, and I have not been. I've slept better in the last 2 weeks than I have in probably the last
all
year.
All year.
So now that both kids are going to bed like at 7
p.m. Eastern
7
Standard.
p.m. Eastern.
Yes.
Now we're able to, like, on a schedule, be like, okay, yes, we can be live at 8.
Exactly.
Or whatever.
And we haven't
and
been able to make
one.
one.
So it's been great. It's been really good.
It's happening. It's why we're telling you that because we can commit to it and we can make it happen. We couldn't do it before. We couldn't even film our regular stuff.
I know. It was. Let me tell you,
it
people.
Was painful.
It's been really, really, really hard. But we've been getting through it.
Yeah. So
that's why I'm so excited about 2023. I'm like, well, if we were able to do that.
Yeah. Then this year is going to be gravy, and you should see tons and tons of new content. And when we say new content, it's not. It's new. It's just playthroughs and playthroughs and playthroughs. We're going to stick to our guns. This is what you're used to. You're going to continue to get the same quality playthroughs. You're going to get more and more panels. And we'll talk about now. We can pivot into what they're going to get. Right. So we love the panels we've been having with our friends.
Yeah, they've been so much fun.
We're going to bring in a few more who are interested in joining us on these panels, and we're just going to rotate people in and out. We're going to continue on it. We're going to have a lot of good discussions about the board games in retail that are coming out, certain mechanics. We're going to have certain theme discussions, and we're just going to keep going with that.
Yeah.
At least once every couple weeks we do them.
Yeah.
And everybody's excited to kick them off again this year. We already have a topic looking at next weekend for doing one, our next one. Yeah. Next Sunday. So we've got a lot of good stuff coming, and we're going to just continue pushing the envelope on this, continue to grow the channel. And to continue to put it out there, like, hey, like this is us. We're here to stay. We're not going anywhere. Yep. And
I would say
we'd like to grow.
We want to. We've been talking about like designer series too. So I know we kind of ranked our Lacerda games recently, which was fun. So we've been thinking as we're going through our collection, like who else would be a good, like what would be a good designer series to go through and just kind of rank and stuff like that.
Put some new lists together and do that. They're fun. Yeah. So, is there anything else you want to talk about?
I don't think so. I've been watching this sub counter thing. I think we have
getting
seven more people.
We're down to 7 people, so we'll be 25,000 by hopefully by the end of the day.
Yeah.
So really cool. Look, can't thank you all enough, especially our patrons. You guys have been and gals have been tremendous support over the last couple of months.
And many years.
And many years, yeah. Like you're not all just new, and those of you who are back, we welcome you back. Those of you who are new, we welcome you aboard. Glad to have you along, and hey, let's just keep pushing the success of the channel, pushing the success of the brand, and all of our partners in content. I think we're doing good things. Yeah, I'm just super excited for 2023, and I hope you guys are too. Yep. So thank you for watching, as always. Look, if you haven't joined our Discord, jump in. It's a lot of fun, a lot of good discussion. The link to the Discord's down below. The Facebook group is like whatever at this point. I think the Discord is the way for us that we really feel we can connect to people, and a lot of the best discussions are happening. So definitely join our Discord. Anybody can join. Like you just have to jump into it, and we welcome anybody. So just come on in, and we just talk games. That's that's all we talk about. If you want to go check out the Nexus, the link to that's down below as well. If you want to sell some games, create a store, do the thing, right? You can do it all. So with that said, I think that's everything. I think so too. Thanks for watching. We look forward to an exciting 2023. Yeah, Happy New Year. Happy New Year, and we'll see you soon.